Caring for someone with dementia is one of the toughest journeys, but you don't have to do it alone. I'm Allison Schreier, and my experience caring for my husband inspired me to create Zinnia, a therapeutic streaming service designed to support people living with dementia and reduce caregiver stress. Our research-backed videos are engaging, easy to follow, and they help ease the daily challenges like agitation and anxiety so that you can focus on connection and joy. Available by subscription on mobile and TV apps, Zinnia makes every day a little bit easier. Go to zinniatv.com and sign up for a free trial today. Use the code RESOURCE for 15% off an annual Zinnia subscription.
Well, for all the baby boomers out there, there was a song that we grew up with the lyric, "The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind." Well, sometimes those of us who live in hurricane areas and even other areas where natural disasters happen, that can be an issue. Welcome to Toni King's Medicare Moments. Toni, nice to be with you today.
Well, I'm glad to be here, and summer has started.
Yes, it has. All across the fruited plains, summer is rolling in. That also means that hurricane season begins.
And we don't just have hurricane season. Other things happen like tornadoes. In California, you have your forest fires, earthquakes.
Earthquakes.
That's what we're going to talk about.
We are. We're going to talk about all kinds of natural disasters. And today, Toni, you have an email and it starts out like this. Dear Toni, in August 2017, Hurricane Harvey absolutely devastated my wife. Her 88-year-old mother is now living in an assisted living facility, and we live over 10 miles away from her. We are concerned the assisted living facility does not have an evacuation plan, and I can't find one online. What can we do to be prepared for another hurricane, tornado issue, or simple emergency should it happen in this area to protect her elderly 88-year-old mother, Mark, in Houston, Texas? So, Toni, what's your advice to Mark?
People need to put a plan together for their family. They need some kind of a disaster plan. You don't think about it. And there's so much that you have to do, especially when you have seniors or those that are disabled. You know, they've got crucial things that they have to take, like wheelchairs or walkers, or you've got to have oxygen. You want to know, what do you need to do for those that are depending on life support, on ongoing medical treatment? What happens?
A lot of times you're thrown into an emergency situation. A storm comes up, like you said, an earthquake or a fire or something could happen depending on what part of the country you're in. And then all of a sudden, to your shock and amazement, you're told to evacuate. You're told to get out. Toni, what do you recommend for someone? Should they have some kind of a container to take with them with all important documents and other things like that?
They need to get like a plastic container or a plastic folder where they can put their important documents like their will and their power of attorney and their durable medical power of attorney and all of your important medical records that you may need. You want to make sure you know where your Medicare card is, your insurance cards, all of that. Get something together so that all you have to do is just pick it up and go.
First of all, do I stay or do I go?
That's what you got to decide. Questions to prepare for a hurricane or a disaster. In Harvey, I stayed. I didn't go outside the Houston area. Some cars were stalled so bad that the motors just literally blew up. Instead of it taking 3 hours to get somewhere, it took 6, 8, 10 hours. You need to get prepared. Don't just rush it. Always have some water set aside.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I was going to mention it because I had an apartment by World Trade Center in New York City for 10 years. And Homeland Security sent us an annual postcard. And they said, Toni, make sure that you have at least 120 bottles of water with you on hand at any given time. It seemed like a lot to me, but I did it. You're right, Toni. They do need basic supplies like water.
You'd rather be safe than sorry. Sit down with your kids and work out a plan. I have a plan. If I have to leave Houston, my kids know that we're going to meet at Whataburger in Sealy, Texas.
You have a predetermined meeting location because that's also important because a lot of times communication isn't always available. Cell phone sites become overcrowded. You can't make calls. Maybe you can get a text out if you can't get a call out, but that's important what you just said.
And I have a special needs sister. They got to know what to do and where to go. We had the freeze here 2 years ago. People couldn't leave. My kids stayed here at the house and lights went out for 3 days. It was about 10 degrees. So you've got all sorts of situations. You need to get a plan in place. Make sure you've got the durable medical power of attorney, the living will, and the DNR. Because if you don't, and that elderly person has to go to the hospital, they may have to go on life support.
So it's also good to say, have more than one copy of your plans and have them in, Toni said, a plastic container, a waterproof container to the best possibility, because you don't know what kind of elements you're going to be going out into. And then the other thing that Toni said, which is important, where she said she has a plan of where her family can meet. Let everybody know. Toni, for instance, if I'm away, there's a thumb drive. All the important information is on it. They know where the thumb drive is. That would be, Medicare account number, prescription drugs, yada, yada, whatever it happens to be, right? I mean, you can't overplan.
You can never overplan. And what they used to tell you to do was to put a red sticker on your refrigerator, so that if you could have your meds or your important papers or that, if they had to come to your house, they knew what to get for that person, that elderly person, so they would know what to do. We don't know what's going to happen, but it's better to be safe than sorry. If you know a hurricane's coming, don't wait till the last minute. Do you stay at home or do you need to go somewhere? If you need to go to your brothers or sisters and they're 4 hours away, leave before the traffic jam starts. Question number 2 is, do I have access to clean water? Make sure you have enough clean water. Whenever we have a disaster or a hurricane or something like that, the water goes immediately, and we have none.
And so you can buy cases of water and keep those cases of water with you. They usually come wrapped, and they're a little heavy, but they are easy to move when they're all wrapped together like that. It's good to keep a good amount on hand. You know how many people are in your family or will be with you. So that's kind of a very good thing to do. Toni, what about the food supply, an adequate food supply?
You need to make sure that you've got enough food to last you for a couple of days. First, use up what's in your refrigerator and your freezer. Make sure you've got plenty of charcoal or gas for your grill if you got to go cook all the food in your freezer.
Right.
And then make sure that you've got enough Vienna sausage. I mean, whatever it is that you like that's canned, you can eat.
So you can do Spam. You can do tuna.
Yeah, all the things we're not supposed to eat, you can bring them out.
But they do. You are listening to Medicare Moments, and we're proud to say that we're one of the top Medicare podcasts in the United States today. Named recently by FeedSpot. Congratulations, Toni.
That's because of all of our hard work and for what you do to add to what we're doing for podcasts. We're just here to help America know what's going on with Medicare and to help people. Hey, it's not just elderly. We got boomers. I'm a boomer. You're a boomer.
Yep. You're a boomer. They're a boomer.
We need to know what's going on.
Everywhere a boomer. So we will be back with more Getting Ready for Hurricane Season right after this.
Caring for someone with dementia is one of the toughest journeys, but you don't have to do it alone. I'm Allison Schreier, and my experience caring for my husband inspired me to create Zinnia, a therapeutic streaming service designed to support people living with dementia and reduce caregiver stress. Zinnia offers research-backed videos intentionally created for people with dementia, engaging, calming, and easy to follow. Whether you need to ease agitation, create moments of joy, or make daily routines smoother, Zinnia is here to help. Family and professional caregivers use our content to turn challenges into opportunities for connection. Accessible by subscription on mobile devices and connected TVs, Zinnia is simple to use whenever you need it. Because when caregiving feels easier, life feels better. Go to zinniatv.com and sign up for a free trial today. Use the code RESOURCE for 15% off an annual Zinnia subscription.
Okay, we are back. We were talking about water. We were talking about food supply. But Toni King, there's something else that people should have. And, the economy's tight. Things are tight. But you're saying to ask yourself the question, Do I have enough cash on hand in case the ATMs and credit card machines are not working, right?
And because they're not going to give it away at the grocery store. So you better go and get $300, $400, $500, get it in 20s and be ready.
Right. Right.
Because we don't know what's going to happen. Hurricane Harvey devastated the Houston area. But we had another situation, just a tropical storm in 2001. 18-wheelers were going down I-10 sideways. It was so flooded.
I want to talk about the cash because it's hard. You really have to separate the cash because you know, and I know that if you have it in your pocket, chances are you might spend it, right? Because life happens.
Right.
And the weather isn't always an emergency, but it's always good to put it in a known place and keep, like Toni said, a few $100s there because you might need it because the electronic systems that we use to withdraw cash from ATMs or to do credit card transactions may not be available to you. The other question, Toni, which you've already answered, but it's good to reinforce, does the family know where to meet? Do you have a plan where you can all know where to meet to check in with each other?
That's what you need to do. And like I said, mine is the Whataburger in Sealy. I just got to get to Sealy, Texas from Sugarland.
Okay. And your family will know that you're there. And then you can all meet there and make your plans going forward from that point. Right?
Correct.
I do want to go back for a second and just talk about the food real quick. Because there are also, and you hear these advertisements, you might see them on TV. There are also organizations that sell you food that lasts for 30 years. And we're not saying that. Toni was saying Vienna sausage, but it wouldn't hurt to have that too if you needed it. But there are all kinds of options out there, I guess, at the end of the day is what we're saying. There are food options, but water is also a key to that because a lot of these are dried and you need to put water inside to make them come alive.
Have a plan together, know where to meet. I mean, we've had a few things. We had Harvey and we had the tropical storm in 2001. And then look what the pandemic did. That was a whole different situation. And that shut down a lot of food supplies, a lot of water supplies, everything. We never know what's going to happen.
We don't. And if you need medical assistance along the way and you have Medicare, keep your Medicare information, along with other important information, prescriptions and everything in a container or on your person where you have it, where it's safe because you might be moving, right? You might be going from point to point. You have to keep it safe and make sure you know where it is and other trusted family members know where it is or friends know where it is. Correct, Toni?
You know, one thing that you can do that I have personally done, take a picture of it and put it on your phone.
Great idea.
You can pull up your Medicare card, pull up your driver's license. Pull up your Social Security card. If you've got to go in the hospital, there's no telling what you're going to need.
Well, Toni, this is a special edition of Medicare Moments. Lots of tips from you, some great tips for folks out there to be prepared. You may be sitting at home right now and the weather's beautiful and it's serene and everything's great. But think about, like you say so many times, being proactive and preparing for something. Be prepared for the unknown. It'll be tough to get through because it usually is, but it'll be easier to get through if you're prepared.
Because you got to realize with hurricanes and with Medicare, it's what you don't know that will hurt you. If you need any Medicare help, call the Toni Says Medicare hotline at 832-519-8664. You can email me at info@tonisays.com.
And you can also go over to our friends at seniorresource.com and you can go there and buy a copy of Toni's book or go to Medicare Moments and hear all of our podcasts, or you can read any of Toni's articles that she's published there for your Medicare information.
A lot of the information is on my website, which is tonisays.com, and that's TONISAYS.com. And it can lead you to the Senior Resource website. We have a lot of specials. And guys, exciting things are fixing to happen, so you just better get ready.
Thanks for joining us on this edition of Medicare Moments. Toni, back
and I
to
just
you.
want to thank you, Jim, for being here. And we just want to say God bless you and God bless America. Hi, I'm Toni King, host of Medicare Moments podcast. Join me every Wednesday as I share tips, strategies, and little-known facts I've learned over the past 20-plus years. I put Medicare into people terms, and I want to help you personalize your Medicare, because with Medicare, it's what you don't know that will hurt you. Medicare Moments is available now anywhere you listen to podcasts.